Okay guys, it is that time. Hydraulic oil changing time. It's all debatable, I guess. A lot of people say the machine comes with good hydraulic oil. Most people say it doesn't, which I'm probably going to say it doesn't. I looked up, but it does recommend the iOS 46. And I finally got it. Just be careful if you go to Tractor Supply. They got this exact same label and everything, but it's not iOS 46. It's, I don't know. It didn't say exactly what it was, so I'm gonna have to take it back. I got the wrong stuff, but this one's fairly easy. I stole the wife's mop bucket. It actually squeezes between the drive motors, which I don't know if it's gonna be enough. It should be 3 or 4 gallons in reserve, I believe. Mine's actually filled up to the 6, which I may go to 5 because it's hot out and give room for expansion. But I ran it for 8-9 hours. Underneath is a 1/4 inch. Let's see if you can see it. It's a little blue plug. Wasn't very tight, so I can't tell if it's plastic or not. I'm gonna be careful. I took out the screws. They're 13 mil. Cup holder's good for that. And we'll get this off of here. While we're under here, I want to find the grease fitting that goes to the bearing. I want to add more grease. Ugh. Well, apparently there's some in there. I don't know if it's... There's one for the... Was it the drive motor? Here's my 2 grease fittings. One goes right to there, which I guess is for drive motor, which I can't... I'll have to get another light and tell. It looks like it's the bottom one. So the top one goes to the bearing. So what I'm going to do is I'll get up here. I want to check some of these bolts, make sure everything's tight. I think it is. So I'm going to get up on my grease gun, and I'm just going to slowly turn and just grease it a bunch more. I pumped about a tube in there, but can't hurt to have extra. I let it warm up a tiny bit. God. That was on there pretty tight. And go real slow, see if it hisses or anything. I don't want it to pop off. Alright, there we're good. Now we're going to have to add ourselves a hydraulic filter in the future, hopefully. I think it'll go into that one, into the return. We got plenty of room. We can mount it right in here. Excuse me. We can mount it right in here. Just a metal bracket. We'll put it in here. A lot of people mount it all the way in the back. The engine compartment, but if I just unhook this line, we might have to face it. Let's see, can we move this line? Maybe we'll put it over here. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Getting off topic. Fluid, I believe, this little strainer in here. I'm not sure. There's a little strainer. There's also a little piece of wire hanging out from the strainer, which is not good. I've seen that before. Well, I'm just going to set it back on top. I'm going to set it back on top. I hand loosened this already. So let's see if we can... Trying to look through the camera and do it. Not easiest. Let's see if I can set you guys over here and see if I can feel for it. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty. Hopefully don't come a flood. Now I may have to make a guard for this in the future because I do woods clearing with this. This is what I'm doing with. Now, key is not to drop it in the bucket either. So I'm pushing up as I turn. Oh, there we go. There's a little plug. Oh, it is a metal plug. That's good. I was kind of worried it was plastic there for a minute. Well, now we're draining out. And, I got my cylinders compressed, as much as possible. But there's still going to be some in line, some in cylinders, some in the motors. to get a real good change, you're gonna do it several times if you need to. But it's not looking real bad. Bucket's sinking down now. So I'll come back when this is empty. We'll put the plug back in and then we'll fill it. I know you guys watched some of my previous videos. We have this, the quick hitch. It's like before you buy it, I don't know. It loosens up all the time. Look into, it's a quick hitch, but it has a spring assist. You stick a pipe on it and click it open, and you can drop stuff off. And then when you reach your bucket down, click on, the spring pops and locks. It's a little bit more, but I think it's gonna be a better option than this. Like I keep tightening this, I'm gonna probably have to put a bolt on the other side just to keep it from backing out. But let me get on this because it's filling up the bucket. Alright, never mind. It's about petered out, so it's about whatever this bucket is. I don't know. There might be a marking on it. It says, I can't see it. 12 quarts, I'm not sure. It's about 10 quarts maybe. Whatever that equals out to. So I'm just gonna let it drip for a little while. You know, drain as much as possible out. Make sure the cap, you know, isn't sealing any off. I've seen people, when they change hydraulic lines, they want to change this line, they'll take their shop vac and put on there and suck on it. And it puts pressure in it, and then you can take the line off and hardly lose any fluid. It's kind of neat. I plan on building a guard for these, I feel. The crazy thing is, when I ordered this, they didn't have, the next machine actually has pilot controls. You know, you get the buyer's remorse on it. The next machine come out, had the pilot controls. I was like, damn. I also had swing boom, which I don't care about that because all these machines with the your little swing motor and stuff, as you're tracking, it'll turn sideways. If you try to dig sideways, you're going to push yourself a little bit. So you need to pull straight onto yourself, stuff like that. But this is a good starter. We did, you know, the channel got fully monetized now, which is good. We're actually starting to make money. It's only like 10 bucks a week, but we're, you know, it's doubling almost every other week, so that's good. So eventually, you know, we start getting jobs if it stops raining, which is actually a nice sunny day today. But it rained yesterday, day before. We're probably gonna look into the groundhog. Was a BH, I want to say 30. It's about almost an 8,000 pound machine, like 7,700. Good size. We'll probably get one without a cab. I mean, AC heat's nice, but if you think about it, you have glass that you have to replace if you break. AC units, filters, stuff like that to keep up with. I'll probably just add a fan. It has the 4-roll cages, the pilot controls, all that good stuff. It can pick up like, I don't know, 3,200 pounds, 15-foot reach up. If you have one of these, you know you can't. You have a hard time reaching up kind of high. About 4 or 5 foot as high as you can go, which kind of makes it a pain in the balls. You can't really load a dump trailer, stuff like that. But it's 100 times better than a shovel. Yeah, this thing's about full. So whatever size mop bucket this is about what it has got. And that does look kind of poops. But it might just be reflection too. Let's see it pouring out. It didn't look too bad. Like I said, I did run this for about 9 hours with the fluid in it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep letting it drip for a while. It's gonna drip for a while, run out. I did warm it up for about a couple minutes. So. I'll come back. We'll put the drain plug in. I'll fill it up, and we'll come back and we'll test it out. We'll go back to the back where I started clearing, where I want to build a pole barn shop, and see how it works. And look at this root rake we put on. It's holding up pretty good. Dug out several stumps. As you can see, they are bending a little bit. I got that one a hair bent. If we have to, we'll rebuild it. We could probably put some flat bar in here if we had to take that out. Some people are talking about running rebar through there. You know, rebar's gonna bend still. It might help stouten it up. I've seen people break all these out, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I've bent it a little bit, but sometimes because I'm cutting roots with it. Maybe sometimes I get it snagged a little bit. Probably gonna need a plasma cutter pretty soon. My Chinese Yes Welder, they make plasma cutters that will cut this stuff no problem. So if we have to, we can start making our own little forks. I want to make a shorter one, just little tines like this, but wide, 4 foot wide. So after I'm done cutting out root stumps, I can just level backfill, running my blade back and forth, because I don't want to eat up my tracks and rollers and all that. You know, track hoes and stuff, they're not really made to track for a long time. Or we used to call it walk. You walk it. You know, it's what you dig, swivel. You don't want to use that as a bulldozer. Alright, I'll catch you guys in a little bit when we get this buttoned up. Alright guys, when you do take your plug out, make sure you get the little, this was stuck to the top of the tank. Luckily I didn't lose it. It's like a little, what do they call it? Like a bushing, some people call them crush washer. Is it crush washer? Like a brass, yeah, something like that. So make sure you keep an eye on that. You don't want to lose that. I mean, it may not be a big deal. You might about throw O-ring, but just keep an eye out for that. Alright guys, I'll let you look at it out in the sun. It is around, it's around 11 quarts that was in there. I mean, it was still just tiny pissing, but man, I'm not gonna sit here for 2 hours waiting for it to drain. I mean, I can see a little sheen on it. Looks like there might be a little speck right up in, oh, it's probably dirt. You can see a little sparkle sheen. It's a little brown. But yeah, we'll have to get a filter when we can and figure out all the fittings and stuff. That's the problem. I don't know if I'll get the filter, put it on a trailer, take it to a hydraulic shop, and then have them look at it, and then we can go from there. Might be the best bet. Man, I keep finding junk in this place. Alright, so I'm going to tighten the plug up. I'm going to filter up. I'm going to go up to about maybe 5.5, because it's hot out. And we'll keep an eye on it. I greased up. I'll put some grease in the one while I'm sitting here. My top hose goes to my bearing, and my bottom hose goes to my the gear, the tooth that turns it. Swing teeth. Then over here is the bottom one, or the top one I mean, and then the bottom one's over there. They just, it'd be nice they labeled it, but it's alright. We're already in here, so I'm gonna fill up the hydraulic fluid. I'm gonna make sure my lid is clean. Make sure the lid's real clean. My funnel's clean. Try to keep as much crap out of it as possible, and then we'll fill it up. I'll let it run for a little bit till it warms up. I'll double check it. You don't want to fill it completely to the top, because if your cylinders are extended, when you try to retract, there's nowhere for the fluid to go. You need space in your tank, and you know, otherwise you're going to be stuck. So if you just change your fluid and you can't move your machine, you put too much in it, or supposedly the wrong fluid, but I don't know. I've put hydraulic fluid in a lot of different machines, and you know, to me it's sort of the same. It's not, and it is. So I'll be back. All right, if you never open one of these tops, you just pop your ears up. You know, get your fingers through there, pull it straight up, and you unscrew that, and it just has a little plastic dealie that you pull out. So then you got a cap you can screw back in. We used to let these drain out, put a little gas, wash them out, clean them out, and use them as gas cans. And, you know, 5 gallons. So then you got your spout. I'm gonna get some more rag in there. Try to get this as clean as possible since I don't got a filter. And then when you pour it, you want to technically, you kind of want to go the other way and pour a big part of the can towards the funnel, because if you go the other way, it's gonna bloop, 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 you know. So very simple to open up. It just has like a single little thread in there. Sometimes the ears will break off, then it's kind of a pain. You have to get a pair of pliers to get it. I'm gonna say on further inspection when I'm pouring this, it looks about the same color as that. I've used a lot of hydraulic fluid too that was clear, but this does have a brownish tint to it. It looks about the same. So I was just worried about it. a lot of the cat and stuff I've used, it was pretty clear to kind of bluish looking when you poured it. What do we got? Ooh, we're getting a little crazy. We're around 5. If I'm gonna add a tiny bit more. The stuff I had originally, the same brand, it was actually more money. This was actually about $6 less. I mean, it wasn't that much more. When I put these back on, I don't push the lid back down. I just leave it up. It keeps water, if water does sit on top. Let's see what we got. We should be, yeah, back to 6. I don't know if you can tell. It's hard to see. Around 6. 5, 6. You don't want to hit the red because then you're not going to have room for expansion. My funnel I bought specifically for it. I like, you know, it did not fit. Too big. So make sure you have a funnel that'll fit. This thing was pretty dang snug when I got it off. Which I may have forgot to tighten this down, honestly. I'm trying to keep an eye on the dog. I'll tighten it down. Alright, it's tightened. Like I said, it wasn't really tight. It was pretty loose actually. So I put a little tighten on it. This is a long, so you're not going to get it real tight. That's another trick too. If you're working on stuff and you don't really want to mess up your bolts and things, get yourself a stubby ratchet, because you can't really put, you know, I mean, you can put a lot of pressure, but it's hard to put a lot of pressure. The stubby ratchet will help you. So let me get the floor pan on, and then we'll fire it up. Well, actually, we can fire it up now, and then I can put the floor pan on while it's fired up. Maybe don't need choke. It dropped down from 6 to 5. But it's hot here in the summer, so I'm probably going to run 5. And keep an eye on it. If she drops down to 4 or so, I'll add a little bit. What we'll do is we'll just cycle. We'll cycle the hydraulics a little bit. Woo. I have it on low idle. I let it low idle warm, and then I'll rev it up a little bit. We'll get the floor pan on, and then we'll pull it out. Alright guys, here's a little bit of the woods. Let's see if this fluid works. I'm gonna work on some of the stumping crap. The machine's a little, I see I'm down to 3 already. Now that we ran and everything. I'm gonna run it a tiny bit, we might have to add some more. Which I think I'm just gonna add some more. See, this is me tracking over here. We're down to 3 now. I'm gonna add a little bit more to bring us up to about 5. As I moved the cylinders. I also spun around a good bit. I put my battery gun on the swing bearing, just held the trigger down, and just slowly turned around in circles for a bit until I was getting a bit dizzy. I'll do that every so often. So I'm gonna add some more fluid real quick and we'll be right back. You can watch it dig a little. I didn't take a whole lot. About 2 little funnels, about 5.5 now. I also found out why you can swing it a little bit. On your stair motor, there's a little shim and it moves back and forth. If you could take that slop out, you need a little bit of slop though, otherwise you're gonna break something. And when you swing, make sure you turn and you ease up when you stop. I need to put some rhino line on this thing. Man, this thing is made for screws, but you get yourself a socket adapter, man, it runs 1/2 inch, no problem. Let's fire up and see what we can do. You gotta be careful, there's a old fence here somewhere. And then stump right here. Watch the camera too, it'll work good. Gotta watch out for that. Look at that, a few minutes. No problem. We gotta pull that old fence out, and we have to work our way all the way back. I don't know, maybe 200 more feet. All the way down there, all the way up. It's all getting cleared out. Big trees are staying. Pole barn's going back here. We're around 4.5 now. Gonna run it for a little bit. It's got a warm up cycle. It does feel like it's doing a lot better than the old fluid. The tank's working pretty good. I get a little bit of, let me get these out. We get a little bit of expansion and then it'll seep out through the lid. I'm gonna see if I can find a vented cap. Or you just don't fill all the way up. I'm about here now and it's not doing it. When it's all the way filled up, it'll expand and come out just a little bit. Oh man, it's nice having, that's 7 gallons. You can get a 2.5 and you also get 11, but it's it comes way up. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm almost at 5. A little uneven right here. I'm gonna run it for more. It's gonna mix, and I probably have to add a little more. I want to stay probably around 5, I think. I'll probably run it for a little while. This is the stuff I've got out so far, a bunch of stumps, and these are private hedges. They're not rooted real deep, but what I do is I just get in there next to it, and I'll just claw curl, and it'll tear the roots up around it. It makes a little bit of a bump. Then I'll take the blade and just push pile. I'll try to scoop through it a little bit. There's a bunch of little sticks and stuff. We'll probably have to get a drag and stuff. And there's the old cattle fence in there. My property's this side, but I also own the other side, so we're getting rid of the fence. There's a fence line down there. I got to clear on both sides. The neighbor said it would be fine, so I can add a new fence on back to the corner. This area will get fenced in too with the shop here. We can tear down that shop and put our little pool house right there, building, whatever the hell you call it. But I'm going to continue to clear up in here. There should be not much poison ivy here. There's a bunch over here. I've sprayed it, but this is poison ivy, so I get it a good bit, so I got to be careful. Get in here and clean some of this. This tree will probably go because I hate it. What tree is that called? I believe this is a gumball tree, and I freaking hate gumball trees. So, but I like to have nice sized trees, so it's a toss up. We'll have to see which one's in better shape. Is this pine tree not in good shape? You know, or is this gumball in better shape? Or take them both down and we'll plant a couple oak trees. That tree's got to go. But so far this thing's doing pretty good. I mean, I run not quite full throttle, but close to that. It's a hair jerky. I try to keep my blade in the front. Make sure I'm moving frontwards. You really don't want to roll backwards too much because you do have your drive motors and hoses. Like I said, we're going to build a guard for that. The next little thing we'll probably do is get rid of this. Get some truck bed, like a spray-on truck bed liner. Or attachments, I'm thinking auger. An auger. I saw a brush cutter. Hydraulic brush cutter, AGT. Has it on their website. It fits this machine. Hook up your auxiliary. I don't know what they mean by brush cutter. To me, brush is this stuff. But they might mean tall grass. So I don't know. Don't know if this is really a big enough machine where you can reach over to the side of banks of ponds to cut brush for people. Don't know. Like I said, we're gonna try to make some money with this, and if we can blow this channel up a little bit better, get a new machine, and maybe do a giveaway. Or keep it, I don't know. It's hard to say. It all depends on you guys. Appreciate you for watching. Hydraulic fluid, change is easy. You just keep an eye, you keep an eye on it. This fluid's probably a little different than the other fluid. The other fluid might have been, it felt a little more liquidy, maybe. The same color, but this seems to respond better. I don't know how to explain it. Like, control cylinders respond just a little bit better. Of course, I haven't ran it in a week or so. Just make sure you don't drop too low. It doesn't have a warning I really don't know what this XW100. Imagine you don't want to get too high, because like I said, you need room for expansion. The longer you run it, the more it's going to heat up and it's going to expand a bit, and you need room in the tank. So I took out, what did I say, 10, 11 quarts in that mop bucket. Basically about what you got to put back in. Another thing too, I don't really like, this doesn't have a cover. It should be alright. I try not to bulldoze too much. I do got a squeak in here somewhere, but you know, it's going to get rust, and we're going to be squeaking a little. That's pretty hefty. I've seen some other people's machines that were not so hefty. The only thing I kind of don't like about the machine, the swing is not real good. You know, you saw me swinging a little bit, pushing the brush. It wasn't too bad. You don't want to push too hard because you're going to grind your gear. You don't want to do that. And then pilot controls. I didn't think about it when I ordered it. You know, I thought I'd be able to sit there and kind of reach and not have much of a problem. But one, you got to hunch down and use that. Two, this blocks a lot of your view. So if you guys are looking in the market, they have one, basically this machine, I can't remember the name, it has like a bunch of different letters. They're sold out right now on their site, but you could probably find it. Pilot controls. Maybe $500 more it was, but that'll save you, because you can get yourself a little bit better seat. You know, you got your controls, you can sit back, you can run it. You gotta run it longer. This is gonna eat your back up. If you're a lot younger and without any back problems or nothing, maybe it's not a problem. But you're still leaning forward, it's just, it's a tad awkward. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll get some work done a little bit. I got the little dog out here, she's hanging out. And another project, we got these telephone poles. We're gonna pick them up, cut them 8 feet, try to dry them out a little bit better, and then got some fencing to do. But the next project on this, what was I thinking? Maybe fab some kind of drive motor. Get rid of this pad dealie. It's not really, it tears up pretty easy. Maybe I put it upside down. I put it upside down, that was over on that side. It doesn't really matter. It's just a mud mat, you know. You're still gonna get mud falling down through there, because I put that, my door's on crooked a little bit, I don't know. But anyways, the bolts so far have been good. I haven't had bolt problems, just these were loose. I just cranked them down. It has some stupid rubber thing. I zipped them down. I don't need a panel falling off. And you know, you're gonna get a few little tail scratches because I'm doing wood stuff. So do like and subscribe. It means a lot. Try to watch the video through. If you watch some commercials, it's fine. I appreciate it. And I hate commercials too. It's kind of annoying. I don't have control where they are and what they are. They just put them in. So sorry if they're, I don't know how often they put them in or what they put in. But that's YouTube for you. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.